Okay, I have now faced the Tyranids. As you've seen in the battle report, which is the last video I did, I weathered the storm with my Eldar. Um, I learned a good amount of things about the new Nids. Most of them are not positive things. To start off with, one of the biggest things that really jumped out to me, which I noticed before I fought them, was that the Hormagaunts can no longer make a 12-inch assault. That's pretty harsh. The 12-inch assault used to be a pain because there was no way to get the jump on them. There's no really way to get shooting on them before they could get into combat with you the next turn. And so they reduced the point cost by a very large amount, but they did get rid of the 12-inch assault, which in my mind makes the Hormagaunts kind of almost pointless. They do have a different instinctive behavior than the Termagants do, so that might be one reason to take them instead. The Gargoyles they were just hard to kill because they were in cover the whole time. Didn't really do much, mostly because I managed to kill the Synapse early on. Killing Synapse is still a really good way to stop a charging Tyranid army. Basically, what really won it for me that last game was my Storm Guardians. My Storm Guardians at 8 points apiece really won the game for me. Initiative 4, 3 attacks apiece on the charge, Doom, Fortune on them. In case you didn't notice in the battle report, I charged the Trigon. I shot the Trigon a little bit when he came in, and then charged him with one squad of Storm Guardians with my Farseer and Warlock, and I charged him with one squad of 5 Striking Scorpions. The Striking Scorpions, after all of his saves and everything, did 1 wound, which brought him down to 2. My Storm Guardians, holy crap, they did 14 wounds, needing 6s to wound. He saved all but 3 of them, so he got down to -1 wound and died. And the key here was that I had Enhance on my Warlocks. I saw some people online go, "Oh, you didn't get Destructor with your Warlocks?" No, I got Enhance. +1 weapon skill, +1 initiative, and that's what really did it for me. I actually got to strike before the Trigon did, which completely it helped a lot, because instead of fighting Simo and I losing a few guys, I managed to kill the Trigon before he even fought me in combat. From there, I re-embarked into my vehicles. I ran over to the Hormagaunts. That same squad disembarked, flamed 14 of the Hormagaunts to death with 2 flamers, charged them and killed the rest before the Hormagaunts got to fight, because I had Enhanced at +1 initiative. So the Enhanced, the Storm Guardians, Doom, all that stuff was amazing. Flamers, 2 Flamers in a squad, shooting at light infantry like that with Doom is just brutal. I needed 3 pluses to wound. They'd get no armor save, no cover save, and I had rerolls to wound, so it was pretty much over for that squad. Which brings me to some of the things I've learned. The new Tyranids, it doesn't seem to me like they pack as much of a punch. They don't seem to be as hard hitting. They seem to be, you can get much larger units. You can get a lot more models on the table. You can get guys that are much tougher, much bigger, a lot more wounds and all this stuff, but they don't seem to hit as hard as they used to. Warriors having all those wounds did give me a lot of trouble. I didn't even bother shooting at them most of the time because of that. I only killed 1 of them. So yeah, I mean, they're hard to kill. There's tons of them, but they don't seem to deal out nearly as much damage as they used to do, and I think that's going to hurt them a lot. The Swarm Lord was pretty good. I managed to kill him before combat and that, because he was trying to keep everything else in Synapse, so he didn't want to run forward too far. His psychic abilities almost screwed me, but he failed one of his Psyker tests because I had Runes of Warding, and the other one just did nothing because he rolled bad. So things like the Death Leaper was probably worth it just for its negatives to my leadership. But again, I had Runes of Witnessing, so it didn't affect me at all while the Death Leaper was alive. Um, the Trigon seems like a pretty good unit. If he were to redo that, he probably would have put the Trigon on the other side of the table, right in front of me, instead of the side over there. Because I was surprised he did that, because it allowed me to focus everything on it. I was able to move in with everything, make a complete assault onto it, without leaving myself exposed. I could assault him, spend a turn out in the open, and not be in risk of being charged by anything. So if he had placed it on my left-hand side instead of my right-hand side, I would have been committing a lot more by going out there. I would have probably been charged by some gaunts and stuff like that, instead of being able to do the charge both times. So yeah, Tyranids don't seem like they pack as much of a punch. You get a whole lot more of them. Some things are really expensive. The Swarm Lord, I didn't realize how many points that thing is. I don't think it's really worth it for that many points. The Trigon Prime, which is what he was using there, the upgraded Trigon, I don't think that one was really worth its points either. It did 80 points of damage when it came in and killed the Viper, and that was it. Not being able to assault the turn it comes in hurts it quite a bit. So, new Tyranids. Against the new Tyranids, my advice would be get inside some vehicles. Can't do crap to my vehicles most of the time. Especially with fast vehicles like that, fast skimmers, if I'm dumb enough to let a monstrous creature get close enough to it to hurt it, and he manages to get the 6s to hit, then that's my fault. So, I guess against the Nids, get them transports, initiate the assaults, do the assaults only on your terms, do the assaults where you can assault the unit, where you can wipe it out in one blow, and where you can't get assaulted back in your next turn. Just kind of pick them off little by little, kind of like lions hunting zebras, catching the one in the back that's far away from the rest of them, and then just nip away at the edges of them is really how you have to try to deal with that many models and that large of a horde. So yeah, that's kind of what I've gleaned from this new Codex. Watch out for the warriors and their wounds. They're pretty tough now, and standard with armor 4, which surprised me. I thought that you still had to upgrade for that. So yeah, that's pretty much it for now on them.